For decades, the $100,000 salary was the ultimate North Star for the Canadian worker. It was the golden ticket to a detached home in the suburbs, 2 cars in the driveway, and a yearly vacation to escape the brutal January freeze. But today, in the shadow of 2024, that 6-figure dream has mutated into a psychological trap. You've done everything right. You went to university, climbed the corporate ladder, and finally saw those 6 digits on your employment contract. Yet, as you sit in your 500-square-foot condo in the GTA, looking at your bank balance, you feel a visceral sense of dread. The math simply isn't mathing. You are earning more than 85% of the population, but you're still checking the price of eggs at Loblaws and hesitating before buying a block of cheese. This is the shadow fact no one wants to admit. In modern Canada, $100,000 is the new $50,000. It is a survival wage dressed in a tuxedo. But where exactly does the money go? Before you even see a single cent of your hard-earned paycheck, a silent partner takes their cut, and it's much larger than you realize. Do you know the exact moment your wealth begins to evaporate?
The first and most brutal blow comes from the Canada Revenue Agency. We like to pride ourselves on our free healthcare and social safety nets, but the price of admission is a crushing tax bite that leaves most 6-figure earners reeling. If you're making $100,000 in Ontario, your average tax rate is roughly 23%, but your marginal tax rate, the tax on every extra dollar you earn, is closer to 43%. This means that for nearly half the year, you aren't working for your family or your future. You are working for the government. You see the gross pay at the top of your pay stub, a beautiful high number that promises freedom. But by the time the CRA, CPP, and EI have finished their feast, your net pay looks like it's been through a paper shredder. You lose nearly $2,500 every single month before you can even think about rent or groceries. It's a silent legal theft of your time. And yet, despite this massive contribution, you find yourself waiting 8 hours in an ER or months for a specialist. The social contract is fraying, and your $100K is the fuel for a machine that seems to be breaking down. But taxes are just the appetizer. The real predator is waiting for you at home.
Shelter is no longer a human right in Canada. It is a luxury investment vehicle that you are being priced out of. If you're earning $100K, you might think you're a prime candidate for a mortgage. Think again. With the Bank of Canada holding interest rates at levels we haven't seen in decades, your purchasing power has been decimated. In cities like Toronto or Vancouver, a $100,000 income barely qualifies you for a 1-bedroom glass box in the sky. And even then, you'll be house poor the moment you sign the papers. If you choose to rent, you're looking at $2,500 to $3,000 for a decent space. That's nearly 50% of your take-home pay gone in a single transaction. You're essentially working 2 weeks every month just to keep a roof over your head. The emotional weight of this is staggering. You're a high earner, yet you're living the lifestyle of a college student, perhaps even considering roommates just to breathe. Every month, the landlord or the bank takes their pound of flesh, leaving you with the scraps. But the cost of existing doesn't stop at the front door. Wait until you see what happens when you try to fill your fridge in this monopoly-driven economy. Walking into a Loblaws, Sobeys, or Metro has become a high-stress event for the Canadian middle class. Gone are the days when you could mindlessly toss items into your cart. Now you're performing mental gymnastics, calculating the price per gram of chicken breast while staring at a $9 bag of grapes. For a single professional on a $100K salary, a modest grocery bill can easily top $600 to $800 a month. If you have a family, double it. We are living through a period of greedflation, where corporate profits soar while your purchasing power plummets. You see the shrinkflation everywhere. The cereal boxes are thinner, the yogurt containers have hollow bottoms, and the price remains the same or higher. It feels like a betrayal. You worked hard to earn a good salary, yet you're clipping coupons like it's the Great Depression. The visceral pain of paying $15 for a club pack of ground beef that used to be $8 is a constant reminder that your $100K is losing value every single day. You're running faster just to stay in the same place. And if you think you can save money by driving to a cheaper store, the pump is waiting to drain whatever is left. In Canada, a car isn't a luxury. For most, it's a geographical necessity. But the transportation tax is a silent killer of wealth. Between the car payment on a moderately priced SUV, the astronomical Canadian insurance rates, especially if you live in the GTA, and the volatile price of gas, you're looking at an easy $1,000 a month. Even if your car is paid off, the maintenance and winter tire swaps eat into your savings like a parasite. You're paying for the privilege of sitting in 401 traffic for 2 hours a day, burning expensive fuel just to get to the job that pays for the fuel. It's a circular nightmare. The curiosity gap here is why Canadian auto insurance is among the highest in the world, despite our relatively safe roads. It's another layer of the Canadian tax that keeps the middle class tethered to their desks. You look at your $100,000 salary and realize that after taxes, housing, food, and transport, you have less than 20% of your income left for everything else. And we haven't even touched on the hidden deductions that the government takes for your future while you struggle in the present.
Every paycheck, you see those two acronyms, CPP and EI, the Canada Pension Plan and Employment Insurance. On a $100,000 salary, you hit the maximum contribution early in the year, which feels like a temporary raise in the summer. But the reality is, these are forced savings for a future that feels increasingly uncertain. With the cost of living skyrocketing, will the CPP even cover a week's worth of groceries by the time you retire? You're trading your immediate liquidity for a promise from a system that is under immense demographic pressure. Then there's the workplace benefits, the health and dental plans that you pay into, which seem to cover less and less every year. A single trip to the dentist for a root canal can still wipe out your fun money for 3 months because the coverage caps haven't moved since the 90s. You are paying into multiple systems of protection that feel like they're barely holding on. It's the irony of the Canadian high earner. You are the primary funder of the state, yet you feel the least protected by it. You're the frozen middle, too rich for subsidies, too poor to be comfortable. And then come the interest rates. The Bank of Canada's interest rate hikes were designed to curb inflation, but for the $100,000 earner, they've acted as a financial guillotine. If you have any form of variable debt, be it a mortgage, a line of credit, or a car loan, your monthly obligations have likely exploded by hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. The stress test you passed years ago didn't account for a world where rates tripled in a heartbeat. You're now witnessing the debt spiral. You use your credit card for a minor emergency, like a broken furnace or a vet bill, and suddenly you're carrying a balance at 21% interest. On a $100,000 salary, you should be able to pay it off, but with your margins so thin, you're only making the minimum payments. The interest becomes a second rent. This is the visceral pain of the disappearing middle class, the feeling that one bad week, one broken appliance, or one interest rate hike could collapse the entire house of cards. You are living on a knife's edge, and the curiosity gap is, how much longer can the average Canadian sustain this level of debt before the bubble finally bursts? We are constantly told to max out our TFSA and RRSP. It's the standard Canadian financial advice. But on a $100,000 salary in 2024, this advice feels like a cruel joke. To max out both, you'd need to set aside roughly $2,500 to $3,000 a month. But as we've seen, after taxes, housing, and food, you might only have $500 left. You're faced with an impossible choice. Do you save for a retirement that is 30 years away, or do you fix the car so you can get to work tomorrow? This is the TFSA RRSP paradox. By trying to be responsible, you end up cash poor in the present. Many Canadians are now forced to withdraw from their RRSPs just to cover the rising cost of their mortgages, triggering a massive tax bill and killing their future compounding. It's a desperate move, born of a desperate economy. You realize that the wealth gap in Canada isn't just between the rich and the poor, it's between those who bought assets 10 years ago and those who are trying to build them now. Even with $100K, you're playing a game where the rules were changed after you started. Does the shadow fact suggest that saving is actually a trap? Let's talk about the Canadian connection tax. We have some of the highest internet and cell phone bills in the developed world. A standard family plan can easily run $200 a month. It's a small number in the grand scheme of a $100K salary, but it's death by 1,000 cuts. Add in the mandatory subscriptions, Netflix, Disney+, Spotify, because let's be honest, you can't afford to go out, so you need home entertainment. Suddenly, you're spending $400 a month just to stay connected and sane. This is part of the relatable pain of Canadian life. The feeling that every utility, every service, and every basic necessity is owned by a triopoly that has no incentive to lower prices. You look at your phone bill and realize you're paying double what someone in Europe or the US pays for the exact same service. It's a constant low-level drain on your psyche. You start to wonder, why is everything in Canada designed to extract the maximum amount of juice from the middle-class orange? Is it any wonder that the mental health of high earners is at an all-time low?
The weekend arrives and you want to celebrate your hard work. A simple dinner for two at a mid-range restaurant in Calgary or Ottawa. You order 2 entrees, a couple of drinks, and a dessert. When the bill comes, you're staring at $150, including the expected 20% tip. Dining out has become an elite activity. The relatable life moment here is the internal debate you have before ordering a second drink. Is this $14 cocktail worth the hour of work it took to earn it? You lied, the answer is no. This leads to social isolation. You start declining invitations to weddings, birthdays, or brunch because the entry fee for social life is too high. Your $100,000 salary was supposed to buy you a seat at the table, but instead, it's bought you a seat on the couch with a frozen pizza. This social erosion is a shadow cost of the Canadian economy. We are becoming a nation of high earners who are too broke to be friends. The emotional pain of never getting ahead isn't just about the bank account. It's about the loss of community and the joy of living. If you have children, the $100,000 salary reality becomes even more grim. While the federal government introduced the $10 a day daycare initiative, the reality on the ground is years-long waitlists and administration fees that bridge the gap. If you aren't in a subsidized spot, you're paying $1,500 to $2,000 a month per child. That is a second mortgage. Then there's the RESP, the Registered Education Savings Plan. You want your kids to have a better life than you, so you try to contribute. But where does the money come from? You're already tapped out. The family pressure in Canada is visceral. You see your colleagues in the US with lower taxes and higher salaries, and you start to question your loyalty to the Maple Leaf. You're working 50 hours a week to provide a middle-class life for your kids, but you're too exhausted to actually spend time with them. The Canadian dream was built on the idea that the next generation would do better, but for the first time in history, that promise feels like a lie. Is your $100,000 salary just a way to fund a lifestyle you're too busy to enjoy? This side hustle has moved from a hobby to a survival requirement. Even with a 6-figure income, a shocking number of Canadians are driving Uber on weekends, selling crafts on Etsy, or freelancing until 2 a.m. Why? Because the $100K salary doesn't leave room for life. It covers the basics, the CRA's cut, the bank's cut, Loblaws cut, but it doesn't cover the broken dishwasher or the new winter boots. This is the financial burnout phase. You're earning what should be a rich salary, yet you're exhausted from the constant hustle. The curiosity gap here is the hidden economy of Canada. How many professionals are secretly one paycheck away from disaster? We see the LinkedIn posts about grind culture, but the reality is much darker. It's not about ambition, it's about keeping the lights on. You are trapped in a loop of high productivity and zero accumulation. Your net worth is stagnant despite your high income. This is the reality check that no one tells you about in business school. Your salary is a ceiling, not a floor. Let's look at the CRA tax bite from a different angle, the lack of brackets. In Canada, you hit the top tax brackets relatively quickly. Once you pass that $100K mark, the incentive to work harder starts to vanish. If you take a promotion that pays $10,000 more, you might only see $5,500 of it after taxes. When you factor in the extra stress, the longer hours, and the potential loss of government benefits, like the Canada Child Benefit, you might actually be worse off. This is the success trap. The Canadian system is designed to pull everyone toward a middle ground of mediocrity. It punishes the ambitious and rewards the status quo. You feel this in your soul every time you look at your bonus check and see that the government took half. It saps your drive. Why innovate? Why lead? Why stay in Canada? This is why we are seeing a brain drain to the south. Our best and brightest are realizing that 100K USD in Texas goes 3 times further than 100K CAD in Toronto. The shadow fact is that Canada is becoming a country that is expensive to live in, but cheap to work in. The mental health toll of this financial pressure cannot be overstated. Financial stress is the leading cause of divorce and anxiety in Canada. When you earn $100,000, there's a social expectation that you have it made. You can't complain to your friends who earn 50K because they think you're rich. You can't complain to your parents who bought their house for 80K in 1985 and don't understand why you can't save. You are alone in your six-figure poverty. This isolation leads to a visceral feeling of never getting ahead, despite doing everything right. You wake up at 3 a.m. wondering how you'll pay for your daughter's braces, or what happens if the BOC raises rates another 25 basis points. This is the financial dysmorphia of the Canadian middle class. Your reality doesn't match the numbers on your T4. The emotional pain is a constant, dull ache in the back of your mind, a reminder that the stability you were promised is a mirage. But what if the problem isn't your spending? What if the problem is the very structure of the Canadian economy? Infrastructure decay is the invisible tax we all pay. You pay high income taxes, high sales taxes, HST, GST, and high property taxes, yet the services you receive are crumbling. Your $100K salary doesn't buy you out of the 12-hour wait at the hospital or the crumbling roads that destroy your car's suspension. You are paying for a premium version of Canada, but receiving the basic package with ads. This creates a deep sense of resentment. You see billions of dollars being allocated to projects that don't seem to improve your daily life, while you struggle to find a family doctor. The shadow fact here is that the Canadian middle class is the primary financier of a system that is increasingly failing them. You are the golden goose that is being overplucked. This realization is the reality check that shifts your perspective from how can I earn more to where is my money actually going. You are subsidizing a lifestyle for everyone else while your own quality of life stagnates. And the inflation isn't just in the prices, it's in the expectations.
The comparison trap is amplified by our proximity to the United States. We watch the same movies, use the same apps, and follow the same trends. But the economic reality is vastly different. A $100,000 salary in a US tech hub, or even a mid-sized city, often comes with lower taxes, cheaper housing, and significantly higher purchasing power. In Canada, we are told to be grateful for our stability, but that stability is starting to feel like stagnation. The relatable pain is seeing your American counterpart buy a 4-bedroom house for what you pay for a condo. This comparison creates a shadow doubt about the future of Canada. Are we becoming a branch plant economy where the middle class is just a service layer for the ultra-wealthy and the public sector? Your $100,000 salary is a reminder of what could have been. You're earning good money in a currency that is losing its global standing. The visceral feeling of being left behind by the rest of the developed world is a powerful motivator for the growing number of Canadians looking for the exit.
Shrinkflation is the silent thief in your pantry. You notice it in the little things. The family size box that now contains what the regular size did 2 years ago. But it's also happening in your life. Your vacation has shrunk from 2 weeks in Mexico to a long weekend in Muskoka. Your new car has shrunk from a luxury sedan to a base model hatchback. Your $100,000 salary is being shrunk by 1,000 different forces. This is the sensation that the official CPI numbers often miss. It's the degradation of quality. You're paying more for less. Less service, less product, less time, less hope. The emotional pain of this is the feeling of being nickel and dimed at every turn. Whether it's the new carbon tax on your heating bill or the bag fee at the store, it feels like the environment is hostile to your financial success. You are a high earner who feels like a beggar, constantly looking for ways to trim the fat from a life that is already lean. How much more can you cut before there's nothing left but the bone? The emergency fund is a myth for many $100,000 earners. Financial experts say you should have 3 to 6 months of expenses saved. For the average Canadian professional, that's $15,000 to $30,000. But when your monthly surplus is only $200, it would take you 12 years to save that fund. You are one job loss, one illness, or one major car repair away from total financial collapse. This is the fragility of the middle class. You carry the stress of a high-stakes job, but you have the financial cushion of a teenager. The curiosity gap is, why is it so hard to save in one of the richest countries in the world? The answer lies in the structural debt of our society. We are encouraged to borrow to live and then taxed for the privilege of working to pay it back. You realize that your $100,000 salary isn't a safety net, it's a tightrope, and there is no net below you. The visceral fear of falling is what keeps you working those 50-hour weeks, even as your health and relationships suffer. You are a high-income slave to your own survival.
Retirement in Canada is becoming a mirage. You see it on the horizon, but as you get closer, it disappears. On a $100,000 salary, the math for a comfortable retirement requires you to have millions in the bank by age 65. But with the cost of living and taxes, how do you get there? The shadow fact is that many Canadians are now banking on their home equity as their only retirement plan. But if you're a renter or a late buyer, that door is closed. You're looking at a future where you work until you die, or you rely on a government pension that barely covers the cost of a long-term care bed. The emotional pain is the loss of the golden years. You were told that if you worked hard, you could eventually rest. But the reality check is that the goalposts are moving. Inflation is eating your future. You start to wonder if the traditional path is a lie. Is there another way? Or are we destined to be the first generation that works longer and retires poorer than our parents? This is the ultimate curiosity gap. What is the alternative to a system that is rigged against you? The wealth transfer gap is the final insult. In Canada, the greatest predictor of your financial success isn't your salary, it's whether your parents own a home. If you are a self-made $100K earner with no family help, you are light years behind someone earning $50K who received a $200,000 down payment from the bank of mom and dad. This creates a class divide within the middle class. You feel the visceral injustice of it every time you see a peer buy a house you can't afford. Your hard work is being outpaced by someone else's inheritance. This is the death of meritocracy in Canada. Your $100,000 salary is a badge of honor that feels like a participation trophy. You've achieved the dream, but you're still standing on the outside looking in. This relatable life pain is what fuels the anger and frustration in the Canadian discourse. We are a nation of two tiers, those with assets and those with salaries. And as a salary earner, you are on the losing side of the greatest wealth transfer in history. So, what is the turning point? If $100,000 isn't enough, what do you do? The first step is a radical reality check. You must stop playing by the old rules. The old rules said, get a good job, buy a house, and save 10%. The new rules say, you must become an owner of assets, not just a seller of time. You need to look at your income as a tool for leverage, not just for consumption. This means making the visceral choice to live far below your means, to ignore the social pressure of the six-figure lifestyle. It means educating yourself on tax strategies that the wealthy use, like corporations and trusts. It means looking beyond the borders of your province or even your country for opportunities. The shadow fact is that the system won't save you. You must save yourself. This is the moment of financial awakening. You realize that while you can't control the BOC or the CRA, you can control your economic footprint. It's time to stop being a victim of the Canadian economy and start being a strategist within it. This is the final warning. The Canadian middle class as we know it is being dismantled, and your $100,000 salary is the last line of defense. But a defense that doesn't adapt will eventually fail. You've seen the numbers. You've felt the pain at the pump, at the grocery store, and in your bank account. The shadow fact is that the reality check isn't just about money. It's about your freedom. If you continue to follow the traditional path, you will remain trapped in the six-figure broke cycle until it's too late. The curiosity gap we leave you with is this. If the system is designed to extract your wealth, what happens when you stop playing their game? What happens when you prioritize your own financial sovereignty over the Canadian dream that no longer exists? The choice is yours. You can keep working 40+ hours for a dream that's been sold to the highest bidder, or you can start building a reality that actually works for you. The clock is ticking, and in Canada, time is the most expensive thing you own. Will you spend it wisely?